those who do not know, I'm going to give time for some people to come in. This is Testimony Tuesday, my story time. And I figured while I'm getting my deep condition ready for my hair before I get it braided, I might as well come on here raw. As this story is natural. I'm getting my coffee together. Make sure you can hear me. Okay. Let me start over. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm Factz. Today's Testimony Tuesday. Give me a second. Okay. I'm Factz. I actually go by Quisha, and I'm also known as Smurfette. However, if you have came across my content, you know that I'm on different platforms. I'm not on here that often, and I just try to come here to bring quality conversations. I do write. I'm a poet. I like karaoke. I like to walk, listen to nature. I speak on mental health awareness, happy mental health awareness month, men's mental health awareness month to men's. Salute. In accordance with that, I'm going to do a little story time to bring awareness, not to good morning, not to bad talk a man, anything like that, but I have a story that needs to be told, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little quick short story of my story, because it's a pretty long story. I was in this situation over let's see, I started dating this man, I would probably say in maybe 95. Good morning. I'm back from Atlanta. Today's Testimony Tuesday. Story time. And I was going to wait till I get my hair done. I'm about to do this deep conditioning with these products that I mix together that is natural and healthy for your hair. Eggs, avocado, mayonnaise, and a little more items. But I decided I'm coming on here raw and natural as the story is. It's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And can you put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me? Thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please give it a like. Like I said, I'm from Atlanta. I do poetry. I like karaoke. I speak on mental health awareness. Nature is therapy. Dancing is therapy. Singing is therapy. A lot of things that I speak on. Again, if you can hear me, please put a 1 in the chat. I'm going to give a couple of minutes for some more people to come in. And another thing, I am a believer. I'm not a part of a church home. Been there, done that, have a membership diploma. But most importantly, I have a relationship with God. And for me, that's what matters. I believe that there's power in numbers. 2 is better than 1. However, you have to make sure the people that are around you, that are surrounded by you, with you, are quality people. Because, you know, we have Judases, and we must be aware and alert and mindful of that. Can I please get someone to put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me? Okay, I'm trying to make sure my volume is up. I can't hear it myself. I took my Bluetooth off. So since I got a couple of people in here, I'm going to read something real quick. I'm about to grab my coffee in a second. And I may get interrupted. I am a grandparent. So she's asleep right now. So I'm see what I can get in and If she comes in, I'm gonna give her cereal, whatnot for breakfast. Hopefully, she don't want me to cook them pancakes. But anywho, I'm gonna stop and then start back. Okay. So I have not really told all of my story, bits and pieces. Some platforms I have not told my story because I want to respect my children, not particularly their father, because I'm just going to say I now don't find it to be important. I think talking about the situation is more important. So like I was saying, I met him maybe around, I'm going to say 95, 94. But the thing is, I really didn't meet him. We start connecting again at that age. I actually known him since second grade. We was in second grade together in elementary school. Carter G. Woodson Elementary to be exact. Good morning. Can you please put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me? Because no one has done that. I just need a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. And if you like my content, please like the live. That way I can put out more quality content. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So as I was saying, since I met him around 95, 96, give and take some time. I can't be exact. Life goes so quick when you're in these situations. So anyway, I know him since second grade. I knew he always had a little crush on me, but back then, I was really on some time where you must respect me. You're not gonna come to me left, and really, I'm a little girl. I wasn't looking for no boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? And then he did things that was kind of questionable, right? Like he would protect me if somebody said anything wrong to me in class, including the teacher. And I was like, I wouldn't say a teacher's pet, but I was pretty much a good girl. So back in the day, they would ask you to put a name on the board. When the teacher goes out of the classroom, she may leave somebody over the classroom and say, okay, put their name on the board if anyone is talking or causing problems. Oh, cool. She asked me to do that. I did it. When she came back, I don't know then, was it a mental illness thing, but the children were some of the children were beating on the desk, and she said, so who I was talking, she started going down the list or whatever. And I was like, matter of fact, half of the classroom just started beating on the desk. I guess for fun or to challenge me, I don't know. So she was like, come on up here. And back then, teachers would get a paddle. Excuse me, I got a cough. Excuse me. They would get a paddle, right? And they'll get a paddle or a yardstick, and they'll put a lot of tape around the yardstick and tell you, open your hand, and they will actually hit the children in their hand, or tell them to turn around and hit them on their behind, right? So some of the children got in line and they got their little whipping, whatever. Then she told me, come up here too. You come up here too. And I was like, what? Wait, what? And she was like, yeah, yes, everyone is getting a popping. And I was like, I didn't do anything. I was the one taking the names. So I guess then I should have known it was a mental illness or something wasn't right. I didn't know anything about mental illness then. But now that I think back, something was wrong, must have been wrong with this lady. So anyway, when she was like ignoring me when I said I was the one taking the name, I did thank you for liking a lot. I really appreciate it. She was like, you have to open your hand too. And after she didn't listen to me when I said, I was the one taking the names, I wasn't doing anything, remember? She said, what, just open your hand. And I said, that's when I went to this, because my mom always told me this. Now, if you was my family, because back in the day, most of the community, we was like family. So if your child act up and you caught them, either you told the mom, but if you were really close to the mom, you wanted them neighbors, you disciplined that child, right? However, in the school, it was a lot going on with the teachers where they wanted to keep putting their hand on students. And my mom was one of them type of moms, it's some family members could not touch us. My mom just did not play that, right? So So I was like, my mom said, don't nobody with me but her. So she was like, what? I said, my mom don't said no one hit me but her. So she's like, I'm gonna call your mom. You go sit down. I'm gonna call your mom though. So the guy I'm speaking of, who became my kid's father, he was like, what? Why is she trying to hit you? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't get it. He was like, see, I told you that teacher, she crazy. And I just laughed it off or whatever, right? The next thing I know, this lady had done called my mom's house, and my mom had to come to the school. So my mom came up to the school. She was like, but my mom, she was kind of strict, right? And unfortunately, my mom did not believe me, her daughter. So she was like, I have to take my time out, come up to this school. I got better things to do with my life, yada, 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 yada. Anyway, so she came up to the lady's desk and she spoke with the lady. She was like, yes. She was like, yes, I came up here to see about my daughter. Of course, I'm gonna leave our names out. And she was like, yes, the class was acting up, and I asked her to hold out her hand, and she wouldn't hold out her hand. And she was like, what did my daughter do? And so she was like, well, the whole class was, and so then my kid's father was like, no, Miss B, your daughter didn't do anything. That lady, something wrong with her. Your daughter was the one taking the names. And my mom was like, what? Wait, what? She was like, I know. Well, back then our parents would curse you out. They did not care. They did not mind if they don't took out their time and they don't drive to, and they have to get away to the school. So my mom's like, I know, D.A.M. well, you ain't called me up here and you tried to put your hands on my daughter, and my daughter haven't did anything. First of all, I'm my mom. I discipline my kids. But you don't put your hand on my daughter and then call me up here talking about my daughter is the problem. Man, my mom let that lady have it. And my kid's father, he just clapped. He like, Miss B, get her, Miss B, get her. So I was like, whatever. And he was like, yeah, I got your back. And I just looked at him, I like, whatever. But for some reason, I always try to be a kind person. But although this person, sometimes he'd be like a clown in the class, whatever. But it's like I was drawn to him a little bit. But it was on a friendship tip. So fast forward, later on, I'll leave some things out for personal reasons, but it was like, he was like family to me. I'm gonna say it like that, right? So he came into someone else's life via, he talked to them and asked, how can he connect with me? And so, like I said, I'm going to try to make this story fast. So he came to my home. I was living with my twin at that time. He came to my house, and it's like we connected, we vibed. I love good movies. I was chill, laid back type person. Even though I like to go out and dance sometimes, I enjoyed spending time. I will always be the type of person who likes to spend time with one man and build something. Even at that young age, I already knew that I was that type of person. Although before that, I haven't really seen life, relationships, and what it entailed for real. Like, I might have had a guy at school. I might have a guy on the east side, on the west side, that type of, what I'm saying, vibe. However, I was not laying down, getting took down, whatever, by anyone. My mom taught me to respect myself, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so we vibed, whatever. He ended up coming back over again. And we just hit it off real quick. He started spending the night. Next thing I know, kid's father, they moved in. The next thing I know, and this how I know what to look for. It was some pants. It was a shirt. It was a few underwear. It was a toothbrush. Or do you have a toothbrush that I can use while I'm over? It was, we going to the store. He ordered in Waffle House or whatever. We having drinks. We cooling. Anyway, I guess the best way to put this, we end up off and on. We end up off and on because he wants to be a player. Freshly made pineapple juice by me. He wants to be a player. So little time went on. He started getting involved with my nieces and my nephews. And I love a man that spends time with family. He would cook for my nieces and my nephews. When my sister went somewhere, he babysitted with me. And he came family, which, like I say, we already knew him. So he was like in the family because we knew his father. Kind of deep. His father purchased me my first Power Wheels Jeep. Yeah, I know, strange, but I got to tell the truth about it. Like I said, I'm making this story a little shorter than what it really is. Never forget it. It was about the color of my jacket, pink and white, Power Wheels Jeep with the little window on the front of the Jeep, 3-wheeler. Anyway, so yeah, we already knew his family. Like I said, we was like family, but we crossed the line. Some lines was crossed. And I guess this is a story you never talk to anybody about, a conversation you never have with your kids. Don't talk to this person, don't talk to that person. So we got involved and we shouldn't have. Long story short, he moved in, like I said. And we was off and on again. I had no idea, but he was a player. Broke my little heart for a minute. And I was like, I guess I didn't have enough, I guess I want to say, maturity in relationships. I did not have a father that showed me how a man should treat me. These are not excuses. These are just things that I know matter, right? Because if I know then what I know now, it would have never happened. But one thing I would never regret is my 3 sons. I love my 3 sons. And I would go to woo for them. You feel me? Monica, all that. For you, I will. That type of stuff. So anyway, I don't regret it. We had a relationship where, yes, we made 3 sons. I had 2 miscarriages. Now here's the part where I'm cutting it short because it's long-winded. The first time he abused me, we got into an argument. This man went into my sister's kitchen, got a cup of water, and poured it on me. Right, I had to pause because it was horrific. I was shocked. I did not see it coming. He gave me 2 things that day because usually they call you out your name first. So he called me a name. I think I was questioning him about some phone calls or something. He called me a name, and I'm like, and he poured water on me at the same time. Now back then, this is how long ago this was. They had pagers or beepers. You know, when you look at the little number, and then I had a little hot pink one to be exact. I working at the McDonald's on MLK. So anyway, I looked at the little beeper he had, and I kept seeing this certain number all the time, right? But back then, I was not, I guess, who I am today, and I would talk to guys that made fast money. So he would say, those are my clients. You know, I would say, these are my clients. So that particular day, I looked at his phone. No, I didn't look at his phone. I don't think he had a phone. I think we just had pages at that time. It was later on in life when he got a phone. Because some people, they never change who they are. You know, when you see the flags, you have to run then. Because it was later on when I saw numbers in his phone. So anyway, as I questioned him, he was like, I'm going to sleep, leave me alone. I'm like, buddy, you're in my home. You're in my house. I offered you my home. I'll treat you nothing but kind and open the door for you like family. Like, you know, my family always, you know, they would stand there because that's another thing. We never really spent time with other people in my family. It was just the people in my sister home and whoever came over at that time, right? So again, like I said, my mom already knew him because my mom actually, yeah, that's how I got the little Power Wheels Jeep. My mom used to date his father. Yeah, I know, crazy word, but it happened. So anyway, that was the first time, but I was so shocked when he pulled that word on me. I didn't know how to respond, guys. I did not know how to respond because I never been a fighter. I never been a fighter. Mind you, going back a little bit, I saw my parent go through an abusive relationship. Never thought it would be me. Never thought. So anywho, he pulled the water on me. I went and got a towel. I dried off. And it's like when he pulled the water on me, it like went right in my face. So it was like kind of took my breath away a little bit. So I dried, went to the bathroom, got a towel, off the shelf, dried myself off. I didn't want to cause a, I guess, scene because I'm in my sister's house. Like I said, I wanted to respect her home. And I was like, you know what? This means war. I went in the kitchen. I got me a pot. I put some water in that pot. And I poured it back on him. And neither one of us was not thinking because guess what? So now the bed is soaking wet. So who's laying down to go to sleep? Both of us can, but we got our own little water bed going on and not the good kind. So anyway, I can't even recall what happened after that. I'm going to be honest with you because this was over 20 years ago. I'll be 50 this year. And I was probably about 18 at this point. By this time, we started talking when I was roughly between 17, 18, off and on. And then we had got somewhat serious, or shall I say, I was serious because he was seriously playing. But anyway, so yes, that was the first time that he showed me that he would put his hands on me because he didn't put his hand on me per se, but he poured that water on me, which was very disrespectful. But I wanted him to know at that time that I wasn't going to take it laying down, literally. So that's why I went and I got a pot and I poured water back on him. But I was like, hey, we're in somebody else's house because it could have really went left quick. I was like, hey, we're in my twin house. We cannot do this in her house. Like, sir, you may need to go home because you're in someone else's house. So anyway, yes, that was the first time he showed me that he would put his hands on me by the passive aggressive type thing, which it was aggressive, of course, because he still responded in a physical manner. However, he didn't hit me with his hand, but it was still abuse in another way. And my response then should have been to leave right then. That was the red flag right there. And he called me the B word. Okay, so if you want part 2, maybe 3 to this story, connect with me on Factz. Give me a few minutes. I don't know who is still in here, but give me a few minutes and I'm going to give you one of my poems. Let me go make my coffee. I was drinking this pineapple juice. This is good for my throat. Okay, I'm going to do one poem, maybe 2 before I get out of here. And then I'll come back and tell a little bit more of my story. about men's mental health matters and my situation. And let me plug in, since I have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, anxiety, and PTSD, there will probably be a part 2 and 3. I'm trying to break it down to 3 parts, because before I got out of this relationship, I took a lot. I went through a lot. Okay, there's this one poem, since I'm talking about this one poem. Oh my God, he would want to try to calm me down. This is one poem that I want to say. I guess I'll try to get it out before I get that phone call again. I'm going to say this while I'm looking for this poem. After all that, I still love men. And I say all that, you don't know the whole story yet, but after you hear the story, you'll be like, whoa. I'm not in love with no man right now, though. Self-love is the best love. And let me see. I don't know why I can't seem to find this exact poem that I want to. Okay, here it is. Okay, let me say this real quick before I make this phone call and get off of here. Okay, this poem is in conjunction with relationships, and I have been through some. This is called You Saw Me. You saw me. You saw me when I was weak. At times, I could not sleep. You saw me at my low, feeling as if I could not sew. You saw me. You saw me from the start, even though you had no heart. You saw me with the muse, had no idea I was abused. Still confused, I took your hand. Without wisdom, I thought you'd understand. You saw me. Or did you see you? Did you see an opportunity? You know you gave me much foolery. You saw me. Naive, broken, and blind. Psychological issues. How could I ditch you this time? You saw me. So did you see you? Or those things you used to do? Loose, obtuse, who? You saw me. Vulnerable, hostile, yet strong. I see you. Someone, something, or somebody that I can lean on. Mr. had bling on, no ring on, so I turned my game on. Oh, I think I'm in love with Mr. Wrong. Just might get my swerve on. You saw me. Friends with benefits because I can or won't leave him alone. Danger zone, days, purple haze. God, please, 1 Corinthians 10:13 me. This slate or state I cannot break. You saw me. You see me now? Calling out for help? Please don't let us drown. You saw me. For more poetry and story times and Tuesday testimony, connect with me, Factz. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Threads. You can get some of my content off TikTok, but I'm no longer on there because I decided some things I do not want to subscribe to. I thank you all that came in, and I thank you all for that stayed the longest. I really appreciate you. If you have content or anything that you do, drop your information and I will connect with you. Thank you. Have a beautiful, terrific Testimony Tuesday. Factz. I'm out.